moving ahead, I encourage you to feel into what this relationship of isolation is revealing to you. And for many of us who are completely committed to this relationship of self-development and inner work, and isolation is not something that we necessarily fear. But I found that in many ways, I've been welcoming this mandatory isolation that many of us are experiencing with open arms. And over the past several months, I've been craving a little bit more space and stillness in my life. And this all too common rush, 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 and go, go, go lifestyle that we all reside in. And I know, ladies, you can relate to that, whether you have kids, you're an entrepreneur. I think we've all felt the exhaustion and the depletion of this unhealthy side effects of this way of being and living that we tend to produce in this everyday go-go lifestyle. And so I've been wanting to slow down, wanting to introduce these new tools and aspects that I've been training in, whether it's clinical hypnotherapy or biofeedback, that has allowed me to look at a 3D world in a very 5D way. And it's been a blessing to myself. And many of my clients have been experiencing it, but no other time than right now is where I have shined a light on this and being able to reinvent myself and how I show up in the world. And by no way am I downplaying this horrific side effect of this pandemic and what it's creating. But I also, in many ways, see the bigger picture that this current reality is opening up for all of us to witness in our own lives. And for the first time in my entire life, we are able to experience something that the entire globe, the entire world is also experiencing at the same time. And we're also able to experience something as far as a tragedy as a catalyst, as a collective together. And we're able to use what is currently going on for the entire world, really truly, as something that inspires us to take radical responsibility for ourselves and for the part we are making in our lives and what we want to offer to the world and who we want to choose to be. And this is a time that we feel into what our isolation is asking us to do, to change, to analyze, to reflect on, to call in, and to release. And for many of us, this isolation is revealing shadows and paradigms that we do not desire to continue as we move forward in our life. And though it saddens me that we have to experience something so traumatic as a collective in order to feel very empowered and to change, I think it's so important to speak of the importance of seeing this current reality as a portal to truly opening ourselves into these creative new paradigms and new ways of being, working, and coexisting together. So it's important, truly important, to remind ourselves that we do not require any devastation or any of this trauma to really create change in our lives or to create a more positive way of being. And we do not need to wait until the bottom drops out and for us to reach rock bottom to do things differently in our lives. We do not have to wait for someone else or something else to give us permission to become who we wish to be and what we want to create, whether it's business, in our family, in our relationships. Because this pandemic, COVID-19 virus, is what's creating change. It's not what's shifting paradigms. It's not what is waking up the collective, really, truly. To think that it is just, it creates dependency. And that external change is upon something else to create internal change in ourselves. So let this current experience be an opportunity to really, truly remember that is us, me, you, that the answer is within and we have been searching for. And it's you, me, and us that are truly the agent for creating change. And as we flow into April, I encourage you to work deeply with what isolation is bringing up for you. And I also encourage you to reclaim your ability and your inner sense of change that comes from within you and not outside because of a pandemic. To cultivate and manifest all the desires that you have in your life And make now the time that you tap into your self-responsibility, and make now the time that you decide to be the answer you have been searching for, and change you have been wanting to see within your life, your work, and your inner and outer world. Now, there's all different ways that we can do this, and sometimes we need help from others. And often when I speak about hypnotherapy, I always address positive mind management first. And positive mind management sounds like, well, think positive. Well, mind management really is understanding how the mind works and thinking in a different way when we have external messaging coming in. Now, we have a spirit mind. If you took your mind and you put your head off and threw it in the corner of the room, your mind would not be able to think. There always has to become incoming data for us to decide what to do with it. And oftentimes we have up to 40 trillion bits of information coming into our brain at all times during the day. And for us to be able to capture that, perceive it, think through all of these things is just completely impossible. And so thankfully we have our subconscious part of our mind and body to do what we need to do every day. Get up, drive to work, or not drive to work, make your coffee, whatever that is. But we also have something in the mind called a critical factor filter. And this is, let's think of it as like a dividing line, but right here in the mind. And so when thoughts are coming in, when we're present, we can, for the most part, capture what kind of incoming data is coming in and decide if we want to let it in to sink back into our subconscious part of our being, or if we want to bounce it out. So what I invite you to do is start thinking about what's coming in, what kind of exposure you have coming in, and first starting there, and then start thinking and thinking, am I present in my day, or am I back in my imagination, where then I go into the feelings, and then the feelings create emotions, right? So the thought comes in, we have an emotion, and then we act on the emotion, which is just really a reactive event in the mind and the body. And so we have to become, or I suggest that we become more present as we can through meditation, laying on the ground, which kind of deactivates and reactivates our nervous system. Just literally laying on the ground. It creates a reactivation in the nervous system in the body. And being aware of what are the things that I can bounce out that are not right and true and correct for me, and the good things, the positive things, the true things, whether it's, it doesn't have to be la la la, happy, happy, clappy, anything, but what's right and true for you, then to allow it in. So that's the critical factor filter bounce. And what we want to do is become aware and present through our day and this time as we recreate ourselves. And we have to have our big why, and we have to do the be, do, have model. Is who do we want to be, and what do we have to do to have what we want to become? And first we need a clear North Star and vision of ourselves, so what that looks like. So manifest that, dream about it, look at it, be a part of groups, be in community. I have at least 3 phone calls a day that I just hop on the phone and reach out to somebody that I've been wanting to talk with. Reaching out to podcasts and doing tons of podcasts to just stay top of mind and present on what the collective is doing to grow, to nurture, to have stillness, and to be all of these different elements in the most, shine the light in the most positive way, but also on the darkness, so that we can repurpose ourselves into who we already have, everything right there, who we choose to become, to be, and that's up to you. You get to decide. Anyways, now I'm rambling. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, tell you I love you, tell you I miss all of you if I haven't seen you in the salon. I'm doing everything I can to kind of fold up these new developments that I've been training on to offer you into the world. And one of those is going to be just kind of a blend of hypnotherapy, self-hypnosis. I can offer to you to give you the tools, as well as biofeedback sessions to help kind of up-level some of those things that we can't see, that are there either subconsciously or in our energetic field that we can't see, that we can bring to the surface, start clearing, so that we can unplug, uncover, and recode ourselves so that we can truly step into who we choose and we really long to be. All right. Love you so much. That's all I wanted to share. We'll talk to you soon.